Hi, this is Mike Regan with Transact's 2-Minute Warning for the week of July 29th. In this week's 2-Minute Warning, we're taking a look at how the LTL carriers moved to density-based pricing could affect your freight costs and freight budgets in the future. Folks, there are some significant things that are happening in the transportation industry, and one of the things we have pointed out is that today the carriers have great data and they're using that data to make decisions about the rates they're going to be charging for their services. Last week we touched on how UPS's peak season surcharge program could cause your parcel cost to go up by as much as 8 to 10%. Now, some of you got back to me and said, when you threw that number out last week, we didn't believe it, but now we've done some analysis. Wow, you could be right. Well, let's talk about what's going on in the LTL industry, because there's some very big changes that are occurring there, and that is the carriers are moving to density-based pricing. Now, some of you may be scratching your head and say, wow, what does that mean for me? Well, historically, the way freight has moved in the LTL sector is on a classification. Classes could go anywhere from class 50 up to class 500, but one of the things that people knew was that if they had a product that was class 77, it was done and settled. With density-based pricing, the carriers are coming back and saying, no. What we're going to do is use the National Motor Freight Classification System to create tiers by products, so that if you had hardware, for example, that was rated as class 77, they now have multiple tiers saying that if it's 1 pound per cubic foot, it's going to be class 400. If it's 20 pounds per cubic foot, it'll be rated class 50. Folks, this is a big change, and unfortunately for a lot of shippers, they are not prepared for it, because in order to understand the density, you need to understand the size of the pallet or freight being tendered to the carriers. How many of you have dimensionalizers on your docks? Not many. How many, if you don't have dimensionalizers, are walking around with tape measures trying to size up the package? You're not. You've basically given it to the carriers. It's class 77, it's and a half, all done nice and neat, no more. Now, that's why you need people like Transact. As sourcing experts, we have done billions of dollars worth of sourcing negotiations on behalf of shippers throughout North America. We're really good at it, and what we're also really good at is coming up with strategies that enable shippers and carriers to work together to get to a joint result that both of them are happy with. Now, we'd love to share that information with you and to talk about some of the things that we can do, things like our strategic sourcing assessment, our supply chain assessment, could go on and on, but here's what you need to know. If you're interested in getting ahead of the pack and controlling your LTL cost in the future, send me an email or give me a call, because with each and every 2-minute warning, we're here to remind you, we are on your team, we're here to help, and we're passionate about seeing you be successful. Thanks for your time.